What's up, folks? Commander Soul here, and welcome to Developer Diary 2 for Conflicts of Eriador, a submod for Divide and Conquer version 4, which will likely be updated to v4.5 before we release. So, as I'm sure you've all noticed, the map is slightly different to DAC itself. And so I will give you a quick tour of that. We are Angmar, which is the only faction that is currently completely done. And most of the villages are currently lacking defensive rebel armies because I haven't got round to it yet. But this developer diary is here to give you a taste for what is to come and to detail what has already been done. So the map we have stretching all the way along the Angmar Mountains. The Misty Mountains with mountain passes. Yes, you can now traverse the Misty Mountains without ever setting foot in the Hidden Valley. All the way down to Khazad-dûm. The Misty Mountains then continue on longer than they should, but that's because I didn't want to include Isengard. We have got all of Enedwaith. We've got a new faction, Saraline, and another one, the Dourhand Dwarves. They are not yet... Well, they haven't been started yet. We've got the High Elves, as they are in Divide and Conquer version 4, except for the fact that they are called the Noldorin Realms in Conflicts of Eriador. Ered Luin as before... The Northern Dunedain, as before, starting this time with Ostsul as their capital, and the settlement Kargast as a secondary location. Bree has got the same settlements as in version 3, except we've added Arquette or Arcade, depending on how well you want to say it. And the Northern Dunedain have a Breelander general to signify the relations between the two factions. As you've probably noticed, Angmar does not start with Mount Gram in Conflicts of Eriador. This is important for the scripts that take place for Angmar. I'll go into more detail on those in the Angmar overview, which will be coming soon. I'll quickly list through the factions for you. We've already done Ered Luin, the Noldorin Realms, Dourhand Dwarves, Enedwaith, Breeland, Dunedain, Dunland, Saraline. But we also have the remnants of Rudar, Gundabad, the Orcs of the Misty Mountains / Goblins of Moria, the Dwarves of Khazad-dûm, and the Ice Tribes of Lossus. They are currently using the Rune UI until we get round to changing that. I crafted this map over the course of a month or so, which is why it's been so long since the last developer diary. Apologies for that. But more importantly, I forgot to make the Gwathlo saleable. I'll probably change that at some point in the future. The new factions that have not been seen before in any Divide and Conquer submod are the Ice Tribes of Lossus, Rudar, and Saraline, and the Dourhand Dwarves also. There are two minor factions that will be on the map. Goblin Town is one, and an entirely new idea from Discord user Grand Misery Kazra of the Sakalur is, as it suggests, the Sakalur, who will be starting down here. I hope you can see my cursor. I'm not entirely sure if you can. Factions that are done or close to being done are Angmar, Rudar, and the High Elves. Sorry, the Noldorin Realms. The Dunedain aren't too far off after that, but they're further away than either of the other two. Scripts. Assuming you are not on the Conflicts of Eriador Discord, you will not know that this mod is going to be incredibly script heavy. Whereas, for example, in Divide and Conquer, most factions have between 0 and 2 scripts. Conflicts of Rhydor is aiming to have 3 to 5 for every single faction, which means that turn times will be longer and various other difficulties for players. No campaign will be easy, not a single one. As for units, most rosters will be larger than usual, than is in Divide and Conquer, and that's because we have so many more unit slots we can use. I've also decided to expand upon the scripts that currently exist in DAC as opposed to starting completely afresh. So the Lords of the Eldar message that you get playing as the High Elves on turn 1 will be a script now, a full script, not just Eladar and Elrahir, Dorn and Orsten, and Glorfindel, but more that I will describe in the Noldorin Realms faction overview, which will be coming probably in a couple of months, because we're a ways away from getting that one done. There isn't too much more to go over on the campaign map, actually, other than the obvious changes to it. So I shall join you shortly on the battle map. Oh, after I talk about the barracks event, which is gone from Conflicts of Rhydor. There is no longer any such thing as the barracks event. We are replacing it with a faction-unique system. I will talk about Angmar's now, because it's the one that I've completed. To start with, you are able to recruit no units whatsoever. You see that we can build the Warg camp, doesn't give anything. The Hillman camp doesn't give any units. And we can also build the garrison quarters, which again gives no units. The reason for this is that they are all script locked. You are able to recruit 3 units from Khan Dum to start with: Iron Crown Longbowmen, Halberdiers, and Barrow Wights. And you start with some decent forces around. Ignore the Witch King. He is not starting on the map, nor will he be on the map at any point, because this campaign script file is currently broken, but not permanently or in any way that will hamper progress. Yes. You start with some of your new units, and a general with one of those units. You have Agandao with his new bodyguard, and you have some decent post-barracks event units that are free in the settlement they start in. This is something that will be true for every single faction. They will have a couple of units that are available what would be post-barracks event in DAC. We've got some other tougher units here. They're not free because you can't recruit them yet. For Angmar, you get new units by conquering Mount Gram, or having 5 regions, or having 10 regions, conquering Imladris, conquering Fornoster Rhine, and then by having 15 settlements and all of the above conditions. At that point, you unlock all of your roster and have the fastest possible replenishment. All of the things except the last can be done in any order to no adverse effect. But I expect that most people will go for Mount Gram first because it's a quite well-developed settlement. Though it will be a relatively tough fight, so I'll wait and see who goes for what.
Yes.
Anyway, that is a conclusion to the strategy map changes, although if you want me to go into more detail on the campaign map, I shall do so in the next developer diary. And I'll see you on the battle map. Here we are on the battle map. I have displayed an example of every unit that is currently ready in the game. I just need to turn my UI back on. Starting with Angmar, and then the Nodlerin Realms, and also the good old Dunedain of Eriador. We have also got an assortment of new custom voice lines from Reaper and his... that's not what I want. I want sound. There we go. They're quite quiet, but that's fine. I will quickly just separate these units and show you all what they look like. I won't show you any stats. That will come in the Angmar overview soon. Okay, that's good enough. So we shall begin with the Gram units. These are foot orcs replacing the Dak Angmarim tier. I will now also hide all of the UI. I believe they do have their own voice lines, but I will have to play around with the... Oh, right, that should do that. Apparently I broke it again. That's a pity. But that's not a problem. For now, I can show you those and get it fixed for the overview. Oh, no, there we are. Just had to put on the sound effects. These should all be new voice lines for the Gram units. All of the units of the Gram tier look like this as their unupgraded form. Then we have the Dark Rangers. Who you should see spring to their feet now. There's the officer, who is a North God. There's the voice lines. I'll quickly speed it up a little bit for you. Oh, I can't. Ah, well. I'll show you them in a better picture tomorrow, or whenever the Angmar overview is recorded. Here are the Witch Knights, the generic bodyguard. The generic bodyguard for Angmar. And you can see Reaper has done an excellent job on these guys. They look absolutely outstanding.
I am the Fist of Angmar.
And they have their own custom voice lines, as do most others. And now here is Agandal's bodyguard unit, the Guardians of the Barad Helig. They look pretty, terrifying, wouldn't you say?
My conquest of the North shall be all the more cruel.
And they use voice lines from, I believe, War in the Norse.
War is coming. War such as the North has never known.
You might be wondering why they have so few people, but this is because they are relentless and are a custom bodyguard unit. They will never appear anywhere that is not with Agandal, and his personal security stat is quite high, so they will probably be in the 60s. Ah, the Dark Rangers have got up, so I'll quickly show you what they look like. They've got chainmail, and they've got beautiful masks, which I can't see at the moment, but that's fine. Angmarim Warriors. Another unit built pretty much from scratch by Reaper.
Angmar.
Having their own custom voice lines, as per usual.
Angmar will prevail.
Then we come back here to the Thrall Masters,
Quiet, maggots.
who are a chanter unit. They inspire your troops, because you're going to need that with your basic tier over here. Iron Crown units have been reworked by Reaper. This is their unupgraded form. You'll see the upgraded in the Angmar overview. Mount Gram Marauders, again, done by Reaper, looking smashing with their chainmail and shields. I'm not entirely sure if this is a new model. The upgraded one I know is. This one most likely is. But if it is not, you shall see it tomorrow. And here is the North Guard, Angmar's finest.
Blood and iron! Blood and iron!
Sporting their own custom voice lines, but picking the same one twice.
Waiting for orders.
There we go. And the Mount Gram Marauders, I think, also have their own. They do have their own. I will now come over here to look at the Dunedain, who have 4 models made currently. The Cardlan Veterans, upgraded by Reaper. Beautiful. Especially the helmets. Unupgraded Cardlan Veterans, using assets from other Cardlan units. Maximum Upgrade Dunedain Bodyguard, which is a model from Theodron of Blood of Numenor that Reaper has touched up with some gold trim. And the same is true for the Steel Bowman. I need to turn down the sound effects because that is deafening. He's touched up the Theodron's model with some golden trim. Then we come to the Noldorin Realms, who are showcasing some of Pandora's units. The Roqueni Loralmo, who are the custom bodyguard unit for Glorfindel, which is why they are so few in number. The horse is new, the models are new, the assets are the same, I think, but the textures are glorious, and that is where Pandora really shines. He is a wizard with textures, as we shall see in a second. With the Hammerguard... Nope, this is the Erciando Termor, the bodyguard unit of the twins, Eladon and Elra here. Gold is the theme for them. Lots of gold, including golden swords. Then we have the Hammerguard of Celebrimbor in the front row here, with some wing-like structures. They are the bodyguard unit for Dawn and Austin the Smith, which is why they are so few. Then we have the Guardians of Eregion, a model by Theodron of Blood of Numenor. All Pandora has done with these is switch their spears for a sword. And that sword is lovely, as is the model. Thank you very much, Theodron, for allowing us to use it. Now we come to another one of Theodron's models, the Eregion Smiths. Pandora has made an upgraded version for these, which I believe I forgot to put in the roster, so you'll have to wait for those. Or I'll post a picture on the Discord, which will be linked in the video description. And finally, another Theodron model, the Rangers of Eregion. Pandora has worked his magic with these guys, shortening their capes and doing some other things that I'm not quite sure of off the top of my head, though it does appear they're taking fire from the Dunedain. Yes, what a pity. And the Roqueni Loralmo are taking fire from the Dark Rangers and doing absolutely nothing to worry anybody about them. Let's see if I can see the Dark Rangers masks now. Might just be because I'm at a bad angle. But again, you'll be able to see a better photo on the Discord for the mod. I know this was a relatively short developer diary, but that's because I'm terrible at presenting things. I hope I will do better with the faction overview for Angmar coming very, very soon. Mostly this was short because I didn't want to spoil any of the scripts that I'll be discussing in faction overview videos, and also because I didn't want to show off all of the models I will be showing in faction overview videos as well. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is, wait for the overviews, and I hope you enjoy them. The next developer diary should not take as long after this one as this one did from the first developer diary. Hopefully it'll be in a few weeks to a month or so. Anyway, I've kept you long enough. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Commander Soul, over and out.